All right, what's up, guys? So let's talk about something. This is something that's been, the topic that's been not running the ground, but it comes up every few months, and I'm always tight. So basically, what I just want to say, stop listening to fighting game boomers. And you can take it from me. I'm a fighting game boomer. I am going to be 36 in 2 months. I'm a very old man. I've been playing fighting games my whole life. I've been going to arcades, all sorts of arcades. I moved to Japan to come to arcades. I've been around. I've seen everything. I'm an SRK, everything. Stop listening to old people, man. These old people going crazy, man. So why did this come up again? One of the premier old men here, James Chen. Don't get me wrong. James Chen's done so much. He still does so much for FGC. Just sometimes these old people, they kind of get out of hand. You have to just kind of to tell them, just relax here, man. Have eat your oatmeal and stuff. But James said, I said a while ago that I truly believe fighting games are harder to learn today than they were before. That people underestimate the arcade environment, what provided that we are missing today. It's nice to read the same thoughts from his accomplice Reinhardt. So Reinhardt as well said something like, the best way to learn fighting games as a spectator was at the arcade. And I don't. It hurts my brain. Arcades, I love arcades. Arcades were a huge part of my life. My whole focus as a kid was arcades. All I cared about was going to the arcade, right? How to get to the arcade. Do they have arcades there? Will there be... Oh, does that movie theater have an arcade? Okay, I want to go. I love arcades. Everything. Arcades suck. They're terrible. If you compare the environment of today to arcades, like, what's James Chen talking about right now? So arcades are that's all we had back then. And they were super fun. I met so many people back then. Actually, I didn't meet that many people. I met a lot of people that left because they couldn't stick around in the arcade. But just think about it, dude. First of all, you need to have an arcade, right? America is this big. How many arcades were there? Like, how many good arcades are there? People, you can't even name like 5, right? You're like, there was like, that one was pretty good. That one's pretty good. That was pretty good. If you didn't live near one of those major arcades, you shit out of luck, right? You're playing at Chuck E. Cheese against 3-year-old kids there. And that's what stems this problem. Like, that's where it comes from, is that there were so many shitty arcades back in the day. Every mall. Do kids even know what malls are? I heard malls are going out of business. But every, mall, every laundromat, every movie theater would have an arcade. And they would have, a Street Fighter cabinet or, not even Third Star. I'm talking even before this. They'd have, you find, a Coda, a Children of the Atom cabinet or something. Or, a Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet. So you go there. And it's you. There's nobody else. You're just playing by yourself. Some dude comes up, puts in the court. You beat him, and now you are the strongest player at the arcade, right? Now you are the strongest player at the arcade. Now, in 2021, you're on event hubs, you're on GameFAQs, and you're like, back in the day, I used to be the best player at my arcade. I used to run my arcade. It's like, bro, you did. Ah, man, arcades, they definitely said it here. So this is hold on, let me find this other quote. Hold on, let me find this. I gotta add this. So it's not just James Chen. So here's a quote just from today, right? So this is a very I feel like this is a perfect fighting game boomer quote, just reminiscing. The dude's got his high school varsity jacket, and he's 45 years old. He still wears his high school varsity jacket. He still lives in his hometown, hangs out at the bar with the college kids that think he's the creepy old man that never could move on. But how I missed the arcade scene. Wasn't no console this, PC that bullcrap. Go to the arcade, and what you had is what you had. No firmware update every 5 minutes, all that. Modern gaming is weak. Man, this guy. This is what these dudes think, dude. This is what they think. And they think that the worst part, I can't talk about boomers without getting, the boomer. This is the alpha boomer right here. This is the professional boomer Valle, but he's also the guy that kind of led this kind of mindset that Valle has, that this random boomer has, that James Chen has said multiple times too, in that players back in the day, the arcade boomer, is just as good. He's just as good or even better than the modern day player because of all the struggles in the arcade. It's oh man, back in the day, the arcade environment was so hardcore, everybody was so motivated, and it's because those are the only people that stuck around. Because going to the arcade, it was just playing at the arcade was a hassle. So first of all, if you're young, you don't have money, right? You don't have money at all. You need a car. Unless you live next walking distance to the mall, you need a car. So if you don't have a car, you got to take a bus. You got to find somebody, pay them gas money. So you need money. You need a connection. You need a method of transportation. You need money just to pay there, get there. Then while you're there, you need money to play on the cabinet. You need competition. You need people actually there that are good. Otherwise, you're just going to play against a computer all the time. If there are people that is good and it's crowded, there's only one cabinet, right? Unless you lived at one of the God arcades that had the rows, there might have been like one cabinet. So now you're waiting. You're like, let me play. You lose. You got to wait for like 6 dudes to play before you can get back on there. Pray you don't get stabbed while you're waiting right there. But they're terrible places to learn. But it's all you had back then. You talk about the frequency of being able to play, too. It's like, I can net play right now. If I want to play a game right now, I can just go on training mode. I can just go online, and I can play. So you can get thousands and thousands. We see people with 10s, 20,000 games played of net play. And basically what the boomer is saying is that, net play is not a good environment to learn. It's not as good as arcades. It's way better than arcades. It's fucking way better than arcades. The best way to learn is offline, right? Console, offline, with like only top players sharing tech. Like, obviously that's the best way to learn. And what they're trying to say is that basically, like, they're implying that arcades were like that. Get the hell out of here. I can't believe this stuff. Here, I made this one. You can take that. Next time you see this quote on Twitter, you can just reply with this. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying to it. It's kind of like, because I'm getting old too. I think something that's important is you have to be able to just, you got to let go. Take it from me. This is a life lesson, not a fighting game lesson, but you have to. You guys ever watch Naruto? That's the whole point of Naruto. You have to pass on to the next generation. You have like god players like Sonic Fox, like Punk, even in Tekken, you got like Gen. You got like these 20-year-old kids that are just coming out and they're absolute monsters. These are kids. You got Fenrich in the anime scene. There's tons and tons of kids that they're just grown up in a different environment, and they are going to be way, 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 way stronger than that dude who used to play at the putt-putt golf arcade beating up like 7-year-olds when he was like 23, right? You just have to accept that. You have to accept this to all boomers out there, every one of you guys. Let the next generation, they've already surpassed us. They're way better than us. They're way better than we will ever be. Just let it go. Just let them go. You built the foundation. Let them just go up further. Stop trying to cling on to this very, very sad idea that, I'm just as good. I'm old. I'm not serious anymore. But if I was still serious, if I was still playing like I was playing back in the day, man, I could definitely hang. Jesus Christ, I can't say it. But anyway, that's it. I got nothing to say. Just please, next time, all you YouTube monsters, I know a lot of times people, especially newer players, see like they got reverence for the old arcade players and like, oh man, whatever they say, that must be true. Old people are not always right just because they're old. Okay, you got to make up your own mind sometime. But let me know what you think. Who do you like in a 1st to 10? If we got the old school all-star from the retirement home against the new school all-star, who do you like winning in a 1st to 10 in some random game? I'll tell you, it happened in Street Fighter V too. Street Fighter V, if you weren't around for vanilla, when Street Fighter V came out, there was a kind of like a movement of the boomers. They're like, the boomers are coming back. They like, Street Fighter 4 was a shitty game. It was too much oaky. It was bullshit. It wasn't actual neutral. Street Fighter 5 is going to be a good game, footsies based, neutral game, just like Super Turbo. The old guys are coming back. So there's a bunch of old dudes coming out. It was like Graham Wolf, like the Wolf Brothers. It was like Afro Cole, like Valle was up there. They're like, we're coming out, man. We're gonna show these kids. I think they all quit in like 3 days. I don't know. They all got blown up there. But maybe Street Fighter 6 we'll see that happen. But like always, thank you for watching. Leave a comment. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.